This story introduces us to a pretty girl named Mallory. The girl is driving alone in her old SUV to Denver for her wedding rehearsal. Along the way, the girl stops for a break, looks at the ring on her hand, and thinks about the future. Suddenly Mallory gets a call from her sister Ella, who informs her that she hasn't bought her plane tickets yet. The sister wants to make sure that Mallory is really in love, and is completely confident in her decision to marry this man. The bride-to-be hesitantly replies that she is happy with the man and hangs up. As she continues her long journey to Denver, the girl listens to her fiancé's voice messages about his business and busy work schedule. The man says he wants to make sure the girl gets to the church on time, and this makes the bride-to-be a little upset. Finding herself in front of an intersection, instead of going to Denver, our heroine turns the other way and goes to see a picturesque canyon. Mallory turns on a CD with her favorite music, and enjoying the road, the girl looks happy and carefree. However, this happiness does not last long, because after a few kilometers, the car suddenly signals engine failure. This forces the girl to pull over to the side of the road to try to eliminate the cause of the malfunction. Mallory looks under the hood and checks the oil level in the engine. Then the girl tries to start the car, but fails miserably. Then Mallory calls the car service on the phone, but there is no network signal. Upset by the incident, the girl returns to her car to get a drink, but opening a bottle of soda, she spills the drink all over herself. Opening the trunk, Mallory begins to change her clothes. At this moment, a young man named Christian suddenly appears, which by his appearance scares the girl and puts her in an awkward position. The man apologizes and calms the girl, and having learned that the car is broken, offers his help. To the girl's surprise, Christine succeeds in fixing the car. The girl offers to pay for the help, but the man refuses. Then, having thanked Christian, the girl gets into the car and leaves. However, feeling guilty, after a few meters Mallory stops and offers the young man a ride, especially since she thinks Christian is nice enough. Traveling together is more fun for the girl, especially since Christian seems to be an interesting conversationalist at first. They share with each other the details of their personal lives, explaining that it is easy to open up to a stranger whom you will never see again in your life. However, gradually Mallory begins to notice something strange in Christian, when the man begins to talk about the fate that brought them together in the same car. But the worst thing is that Christian starts to make dirty jokes about the girl, which disgusts her. Mallory stops the car and asks the man to get out, but Christian takes a knife out of his bag and orders the girl to keep driving. At this time, the man continues to talk about fate and the fact that they are destined to be together in the same car. Together they drive to a small hotel further down the road that was abandoned years ago. Soon the girl notices that Christian is not wearing his seatbelt. Mallory decides to take this chance and steers the car into the curb, trying to throw the man out of the car. Christian realizes this, however, and grabs the steering wheel in hopes of stopping the car, but in the end, a struggle results in the car going off the cliff anyway. Some time passes, the girl comes to her senses, and finds herself upside down in the car with cuts all over her body. Mallory unbuckles her seatbelt, and realizes that she got her leg caught in the car during the accident. At this time, a fellow traveler who was thrown from the car during the accident regains consciousness and heads towards Mallory. The girl manages to grab a knife lying nearby. As they approach the car, Christian examines the stuck leg and says that the femoral artery is not hit, otherwise the girl would be dead by now. Then the man talks about how nice it was for him to meet the girl, and abruptly leaves. Left alone, Mallory desperately screams for help and gives a beep, but no one is around and no one hears her. Night falls, and the girl tries to free her leg, but nothing works, and only the wound begins to bleed more. Leaving hopeless attempts and shivering from the cold, the girl puts on a sweatshirt and drinks the last drops of water from the bottle. Suddenly there is some noise near the car, probably wild animals. The girl lights a flashlight and turns on the car's headlights to scare away the predators. After calming down a bit, the girl still manages to fall asleep. The girl wakes up to ants biting her. Christian returns in the morning and tells Mallory that he found a cabin nearby the night before, where he spent the night. The man then asks why she drove off the road, and answers the question for her himself. The man says that it was because the girl had read all sorts of stories and was afraid of being abused. Mallory does not answer this question, but only asks for some food and water. In response, Christian says he will give her food on the condition that she tells him about her life. The girl begins to tell about her first love, and Christian continues to ask more and more questions, wanting to know all the details. Suddenly, however, the man cuts off Mallory's story and says that she is not talking about her life, but about her sister's experience. Christian gets up and leaves, leaving the girl without food or water. Another night comes. Mallory begins to despair and writes a note with warm words of love for her sister, Ella, and gives the name of the man responsible for her death. The girl builds a small fire outside the car to keep warm, and after a while throws her wedding veil into the fire, from which she experiences mental satisfaction and falls asleep. At night, Mallory wakes up from the fact that someone is crawling on her, and it turns out to be rats. From horror, grabbing something, the girl kills one of them with a car key. And later, looking at the dead carcass of the rat, the girl feels a strong sense of hunger. Mallory decides to eat her victim and roasts it over a fire and then eats it. In her wallet, she finds a picture of Christian's family. Thus, having had a little snack and gained strength, the girl falls asleep. The next day, Mallory is suddenly awakened by the vibration of her phone. The girl takes out the phone with a wooden stick and wants to make a call. Suddenly, however, Christian returns. Mallory pretends to listen to him and hides the phone herself. The man tells her that he spent the night torturing the family that owns the cabin he found. After seeing the rat eaten, Christian admires the girl's determination to survive and says he is proud of her. Suddenly, the phone rings traitorously. A man climbs through the window into the car and takes the phone from the girl before throwing it on the ground and smashing it. As he leaves, Christian tells Mallory that he won't kill her, but will enjoy watching her try to survive and slowly die, and gives the girl a saw. Mallory says that she won't be able to cut the car with that saw, but Christian replies that all she has to do is cut off her leg. The man explains that if she doesn't, she will die of blood poisoning. The girl asks why he's doing this to her, since she saw a picture of a happy family in his wallet. The man replies that it is a fake photo that he uses to gain the trust of people like her. Soon the girl takes a saw and tries to free her leg by cutting through the car structure. However, Mallory fails, as the saw simply breaks. Then, out of desperation, the girl takes the saw blade and tries to fulfill the crazy idea that came into her head, but finds herself helpless before the monstrous pain she feels. A girl suffers from severe thirst, and all the water has run out. Luckily for the girl, after a while it starts to rain heavily. Mallory takes this chance to drink rainwater to her heart's content. Suddenly, the girl notices the headlights of a car stopped on the side of the road. Excited, Mallory calls for help, but is quickly disappointed when she sees that it is Christian who has returned. A girl smears herself with the blood of a rat and pretends to be dead. When a man approaches her to check on her, the girl suddenly attacks him with a knife. Christian lashes out, but Mallory manages to take the car keys from him, and setting off the alarm, she throws the keys into the grass. The man runs to the car, opens the hood, and cutting the wire with a knife disables the alarm. At the same time, a policeman drives up and, thinking that the man's car has broken down, offers to help. Christian deceives the policeman and asks the officer for a ride home. At this time, Mallory tries to get the police officer's attention by shining a flashlight and honking the car's horn. The officer approaches the cliff, but due to the weather, he cannot hear the girl and drives off with Christian. The rain intensifies and the water begins to flood the ravine where the car lies. Afraid of drowning, the girl desperately tries to escape. Suddenly, a strong stream of water pulls the car off, and thanks to this, the girl's leg is freed. Mallory gets out of the car and swims to the shore. On the shore, the girl picks up a stick to lean on and continue walking. Soon Mallory passes a strange house. The girl hears a woman's voice calling for help. Approaching the house, our heroine miraculously avoids a bear trap by jabbing at it with a stick. Mallory realizes that this is the cabin that Christian told her about. Inside the house, Mallory sees the owners of the house dead, and the girl who called for help is their daughter. Our heroine hears some male voices and finds out that it is a policeman who helped Christian. And then the girl accidentally witnesses terrible events. Then the man goes up to the second floor, and Mallory at this time before she is noticed, sneaks into the house and takes the policeman's gun. Our heroine rises, goes further to rescue the prisoner, and tries to untie her. At this time, Christian returns. Mallory hears this and hides behind the door. When the man enters the room, the heroine shoots at him, but due to fear, misses. Christian attacks Mallory, and a struggle ensues, as a result of which the girl pushes the man off the balcony. Both girls go outside to find out what happened to the man and find him with a bear trap on his leg. Mallory throws the wounded Christian a knife, thus giving him the same chance he gave her earlier. Mallory gloats, contemplating fate and how he didn't get in her car for nothing, and it was meant to happen this way. In the end, the girls help each other and are rescued, while Christian gradually dies from his injuries. This is the end of the movie. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Give this video a like. Write in the comments what you think about this movie, and see you in new videos.